Hello my isolation buddies, welcome to episode 8 of Julie and Pierre. Happy Friday, thank God it's Friday, thank God you're here. I hope that you slept well last night, I hope that you took your multivitamins this morning. I hope you're ready for this and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. You've cancelled all your plans, you cancelled all your meetings, you told your grandma to get stuffed, you're like, no, I have a video to watch, so I appreciate that and I love you for it and I have missed you terribly. You especially. Today's adventure is a mocha cake, which looks like this. I can 100% guarantee to you that mine is not going to look like this whatsoever, but we're gonna do our best. It has no chocolate, basically. I'm gonna add a little bit of chocolate to it because I'm a chocolate fiend and I think everything needs chocolate, but otherwise there's not really any chocolate in here at all, so it's basically a coffee cake. It's layered, so it's a coffee sponge, and then it is layered with a buttercream and a lightened mocha cream. So we make a pastry cream, custard, and then whip it and lighten it, fold some whipped cream through it, all the good things, and then we're gonna layer the cake, soak the cake in a syrup, roll it in toasted almonds, and then devour it. Live our best lives, enjoy it, I hope. It's a lot of coffee, and I've had a lot of coffee, but I'm ready for more coffee. We're here for the most intense and rich options possible because maybe you get some joy out of making me sick on eating intense foods. I get joy out of that. I love eating my weight in intense foods and, you know, keeling over and having a food coma afterwards. That's why I'm here. I know that you are my #1 supporter and I know that as long as you are sitting there, I will be fine. Let's begin. First things first, we've got our eggs and caster sugar in our mixing bowl over a double boiler. We need to give those a good mix and cook them out to around 50 to 60 degrees. We've also got our coffee syrup here and sifted plain flour here. Make sure you sift it anytime you're making a sponge ever. Sift your flour. So we'll start with our eggs. Alright, so once your egg and your sugar has come up to temperature, whack it onto a mixer and beat the absolute life out of it until it is cooled and light and fluffy, I presume. I've never cooked the eggs over a double boiler like this before for a sponge, but we're gonna see what happens, so just beat the crap out of it. This coffee syrup is just your boiling water and your instant coffee. I literally just boiled the kettle and cheated and added them together and just dissolved the coffee into it. So then we're going to add that into this on the machine and then mix it on like a low to medium speed just to combine it. You've got your super light and fluffy egg mixture over here with the coffee and your sifted plain flour. Add the flour to this about half at a time. So just very gently fold it through, pick it up and let it fall onto itself. Make sure that you are getting all of that flour incorporated. And then the other half. In a pan that is non-stick and you've sprayed it, buttered it, floured it, whatever, we're going to put our mixture into that. Beauty. And then cook it in an oven that is at about 180, 190 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. Deliciousness. All right, next on the agenda is the coffee buttercream. So 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk in this baby. Your sugar and water in a saucepan. We're going to cook that to 120 degrees while we're whipping this and then add this to this like an Italian meringue, but you've got whole eggs in this. Again is your instant coffee and boiling water. Just mix them together so that they're nice and smooth, and then butter. Start your eggs straight away. You're not going to over whip them like you would if it was egg whites, so just smack them up, crank them up. You want to get it really nice and airy. So just start it as soon as you start your sugar. Easy. Once your sugar is up to temperature, you want to trickle it in while this is mixing. With such a small amount, it's a little bit difficult, but try to get it to hit about there, so in between the whisk and the bowl. Then once your egg and sugar mixture is all nice and light and fluffy, we're going to transfer it into another bowl and let it cool completely while we soften and whip up the butter. Then in your mixer, you're going to need to soften your butter completely, whip the crap out of it until it's nice and pale and fluffy. And then we're going to add that cooled eggs mixture to that and then add your coffee syrup to that. I've never made a buttercream like this, so we'll see what happens. Alright, then we're going to add our egg mixture, about half. Make sure you give the sides a good scrape down as well, just to make sure that no butter lumps are in there, and then just mix it until it is all nice and soft and combined, I guess. This is the opposite way to how I would make a buttercream. I would keep the eggs on there and slowly add the butter to it instead of softening the butter and adding the cold eggs to it. But I'm very intrigued to see what this ends up like. Maybe it'll be better than mine. When it's all nice and smooth and fully incorporated, add your coffee syrup. Make sure it is also cooled before you add it, otherwise you're just going to melt all the butter in there. And give that a good mix. Beautiful, looks pretty good. We're gonna make our pastry cream. So we've got our sugar, milk and vanilla bean here. And then here we've got our egg yolks, custard powder and plain flour. We're just gonna give a good mix. And then we're gonna boil our milk, temper our eggs, add the eggs back to the milk, cook it out to make a nice pastry cream. Yeah, it's all in my fucking whisk. So that's good, that's good. All right, once your milk is boiling, add a bit to your eggs to temper them. Mix it through. And then put it back into the milk and cook it out until it's nice and thick and glossy. Then once you've got your pastry cream, I just strained it to get rid of the vanilla bean I had in there. Add your butter to it, mix it through, and then pop it in the fridge to allow it to fully set up before we make it into our light whipped custard. Beautiful. Okay, also our sponges come out of the oven, so it's nice and high, spongy, springs back, not wet, actually looks really good. Allow him to completely cool before we do anything else with it. Completely cold, no warmth on your hands whatsoever. And cool it out of the tin. If you cool it within the tin, it will steam inside the tin and sweat and get like gross and soggy, so cool it outside of it on a wire rack while you're making everything else. Then for our lightened pastry cream, we have our butter here, whipped cream here. It's literally 45 grams of cream, so I just whipped it by hand. You want it stiff. Our coffee syrup, again, instant coffee, boiling water, mix them together. And our pastry cream, I've let it completely cool in the fridge, and then I've just knocked it down again with a whisk to kind of soften it up a little bit. First, we're going to beat our butter into submission for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to add our pastry cream to that, then the coffee syrup, and then lastly we're going to fold the cream through it, and this will be what goes in the layers of our cake. Yum! Alright, I truly think that is about as good as I'm going to get it. So I'm going to add my pastry cream now. Mix those together fully. Then when all of that is together, get your whipped cream and mix that through as well. Then we're going to construct our cake. So I've got cake, buttercream, syrup, which is just all the ingredients literally just mixed together. It's just coffee, sugar and water basically. And our whip. Now I whipped a little bit more cream into it because I didn't really like the consistency to begin with. So I maybe whipped an extra, I don't know, 100, 200 grams of cream into it because I didn't really like the consistency of it. I didn't think it was thick enough. And I also didn't really like the flavor. The buttercream is very intense. So I wanted the whipped custard to be lighter, otherwise it would just be like so much freaking intensity. I've also got some chopped up chocolate here that I'm going to put through the layers. So let's layer it up. Now, first things first, he puts the whip in between his layers of his cake and then covered the cake in the buttercream. I'm not going to do that because I don't play by the rules. I'm going to put one layer of buttercream in, one layer of cream in, and then cover it in cream because I want it to be lighter. So we're just going to do it my way because fuck it, that's what we're here for. Yay! So first things first, you need to get a serrated knife and cut 3 even thicknesses of cake. They're going to be quite thin, or well, mine are quite thin. So just go around it first and make sure you're like really using the serratedness of that knife, so really saw. If you put too much pressure on it, you're just going to tear the sponge. So just be gentle and let the knife do the work. And then once you're all the way around, just very gently go through the center. Make sure that it is all cut. Beauty. Great. I'm going to put your first layer of cake on your board and get your syrup and generously soak. I feel like this is going to be very tiramisu-esque. I don't know, I'm getting mad vibes. And then I'm going to put the buttercream here. I'm going to give it its one layer. And then I'm going to put some chocolate because I want to add some crunch. This is all very soft, and so I think that like the tiramisu, having a little bit of chocolate and a little bit of crunch in there is really going to like help it out. And your next layer of cake, press it down. Crumbs everywhere. You're not doing it right if you haven't made an absolute freaking mess. More syrup. Again, generous. And then some of the light cream. And then more chocolate. Your last layer of cake. I always put this one upside down because we're going to be soaking this one as well, and I just feel that the soaks better from this kind of the sponginess rather than the set top. And then more of the cream. And use your palette knife, keep it flat against the cake, and then just clean off the sides. I also want to kind of cover the whole thing in this cream anyway. Okay, and then some roasted slivered almonds to put around the side to finish it off. So I always find it easier. Kind of work over your bowl and just use your hands and just press it on so that anything that falls is just falling back into your bowl. But if you can't have nuts, just don't do this part. Boom. And then put this in the fridge for a couple hours, let those creams set up a little bit and let the cake get a little bit soggy, and then we will try it. Welcome back to my dining room. I'm gonna eat here with you. It's like you're actually sitting across from me. It's really cute and sweet. This is the cake. It's been sat in the fridge, I don't know, an hour or two now. Because it's predominantly like the whipped cream, it is not like set. So I'm sure the buttercream will be fairly set, but the cream is gonna be like whipped cream. First, I'm just gonna go for it like this. I don't really know if I'm gonna like this one. It's very coffee, and I'm a little bit of a sweet tooth person, so I like sweet things, but we will see. Honestly, it's such a mess. And my hands are shaking so much because I've already had so much coffee today. And I am not going to sleep tonight. Okay. I should really get a plate. Oh. I can't really decide how I feel about this one, honestly. It's good. I think it was a good idea to do the light cream because this buttercream is pretty intense. Like, the almonds are really good, like crunch. I'm just gonna have to eat this whole thing to figure it out, I think. The chocolate, another good idea. It makes it a little bit sweet. The sponge is good. It's soaked nicely. It like absorbed obviously the syrup really well. And the light cream is really nice and kind of, well, it's light. It's not so intense. And the other flavors are like intense and like straight coffee intense. I do like it. It is really nice. It is. I would probably want it maybe a little sweeter. Maybe I would put more sugar somewhere. But I'm quite a sweet tooth, so I don't really know. But it is nice. The textures are good. The buttercream is good. It is just very intense. But if you drink, say, double espressos, you probably like this. I drink a latte with 2 sugars, basic as they come. So this kind of coffee intensity is actually quite a lot for me. It is what it's supposed to be. It's coffee cake, it's mocha cake. I'm not gonna sleep tonight, but I'm not mad about that. Yeah. Yeah. I love cake. Really like the sponge and soaked. Oh, so good. I love that texture. I'm all about textures, so they're really like, yeah, like soft sponge, like it kind of like melts in your mouth. Oh, that is really good. That's my favorite part about this whole thing. But then you've got the almonds and like the chocolate, and I really feel like there's shit under my eye. But then you got like the almonds and the chocolate, and so like while all this stuff is like melting in your mouth and is gorgeous and delicious, there's like pops of crunch. And yeah, I would suggest to definitely add the chocolate to it if you like more intense coffee. Maybe make more of the buttercream and do more. If you like lighter flavors, definitely go with the light cream more. The consistency is really good. It's really like really good. That's very good. I'm honestly having a heart attack, I think. I can't tell you the level of caffeine I've had. Whew. There is so much coffee in this as well. Very coffee. But no, another thumbs up here. Definitely give it a go if you want to wake yourself up and, you know, basically eat a gallon of coffee in a cake. Please do go for it. I support you 100% in whatever you want to do, and if that is eating your weight in, you know, straight coffee that is in the form of a cake, I accept you for who you are. I support you. I love you. You do you. I've got your back. Don't worry. Like, it's you and me against the world, really. I'm like so shaky. Thank you for being here for episode 8. I know that you all love to watch me eat my weight in incredibly rich goods, and even though I'm here nearly dying, I still appreciate you, and I appreciate the gesture, and I know that you're only looking out for me and wanting the best for me, and I can see that. I look forward to seeing you next week, whatever that may be. All of the ingredients I will list below so you can make this at home. I am with you every single step of the way. If you need any assistance, just day or night, I am available for you 100%. So if you need any assistance with this, just give me a bell. Hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you can be a part of this journey. If you would like to be an even more influential part of this journey, head to my Instagram. It is A Sweet Pastry Chef Life. I put it somewhere in this world, and you can come along every Monday. I put up 2 options in which I need your help deciding what I make, and then I make it, I eat it, I potentially have a heart attack on camera, give it to you, I let you watch it, and you can enjoy it on the following Friday. So head to my Instagram to be a part of that. Subscribe to be a part of this. I love you all. I miss you all already. I appreciate you to the ends of the earth. My isolation buddies, I don't know what I'm going to call you as we are coming out of isolation, so will we just be buddies? I don't know. But I will see you next week for episode 9. I can't believe it. It's almost been 10 weeks of this life. It is crazy. I can't really fathom it whatsoever. It's blowing my mind. But I will see you next week for episode 9, whatever that may be. And I cannot wait to see you. Stay well, stay rested, take care of yourself, and I will be bouncing off the walls for the next few days. I love you. You especially.